This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Bill, what's up, buddy?
Hey, man. How are you?
Man, we're kind of licking our wounds after that basketball game for these Razorback fans around here. That Tennessee air, John Denver lied. These Rocky Mountains aren't that flat.
Yeah, they've kind of been hot and cold, but when they're full strength, they're pretty good. And we know they're very sticky defensively. That's probably one of their better performances.
Man, yeah, I'm a Ricky Barnes fan. They played well. I want to get your thoughts on a couple combine guys. You got I'm not sold on Bryce Young. I know a lot of people are, but the undersized quarterback that's a little skinny that doesn't like to compete, doesn't want to throw it to it just kind of I just don't see what everybody else is seeing. I know the quarterback is some years you don't have a quarterback that should be going number one in the draft, but they always try to find one to take up there. What are your thoughts on him and some of these SEC quarterbacks going to the next level?
Well, yeah, I think he's maybe on a really good day 5'11". The biggest problem, though, is he's lean. And the short quarterbacks that are effective are stocky. Kyler Murray's 5'10", but he's about 218.
He's
right?
built, yeah. So is Jalen Hurts, yeah.
I mean, you've got to have some muscle mass, or it's just hard. He's on a good day, and I don't know if he's weighed yet, but if he weighs 190, he's weighing with a brick in each pocket. That's what worries me. I think he's got plenty of arm talent and all of that. I just don't know if physically in that league he can ever hold up.
Yeah, the shorter guys, Kyler Murray, a little success, and Jalen Hurts, obviously. But, yeah, you got to take hits. That's my thing, too. You want your quarterback to have a little bit of weight around him. What's the latest with this kid out of Georgia? The last I saw, he's going to be cleared of all charges. When is he going to the Combine?
Jalen Carter, you're talking about, number 88.
Yes, sir.
He's the best player. Now, again, some of these TV shows talk about how this is going to hurt him. That's not going to hurt him. He's that position. His skill set is a commodity. It's like finding gold, and he is so dominant. That's the best player. Now I don't, who knows who takes what, but I don't know that this is going to hurt him. He's got a different assessment of the story, and everybody's been hitting me up on it, but. Just watch this kid when he's healthy, and he got healthy about the time Tennessee played him. Dominant. Mm-hmm. 3 technique defensive lineman. He's 6'3", 320. He's athletic. He's twitchy. Anything you want to do, he does.
Yeah, he would be my number one overall pick in the draft. I think he's a can't miss as long as he's healthy.
Right.
You been keeping up with any of that Aaron Rodgers stuff, or do you haven't been checking in on that? Do you think he's going to come back as a Packer? Because I think he's done with Green Bay.
Sounds like it. He's hell of a Hall of Famer. Everything. He's quirky, and probably some of that might be a little bit of an act. But we know he's a little bit quirky. But look, he controls his own destiny, and I think that whole thing is worn out. Now, again, I'm not much of an NFL guy, as you know,
right.
But it just seems like that whole relationship would be better off if everybody went in a different direction. You're not going to find another quarterback like that. You can't replace him, but it's time to move on.
Let me ask you this about a quarterback like that, though. Do you want your quarterback airing out dirty laundry on the Pat McAfee show every single week? Aaron Rodgers, I'll tell you that.
You don't
Aaron
want any
Rodgers,
player. Yeah.
He's an interesting guy. There's no doubt. He's quirky. He's a great quarterback, but I also think he craves and loves the spotlight and will do what he can to stay in that spotlight. And he and McAfee have this thing going. I don't know if I want my quarterback airing that dirty laundry the way he does.
No, you can't. And at some point, you have to take care of family, whether you're close or not, right? And that's not something. Now, controlling a guy like that is another thing. And let's also admit, when he knows you're trying to control it, it just makes it worse.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's not going to listen.
I'd like to see him at Denton. I'm not a Dallas Cowboys fan, but you see that defense there, man. He can go wherever. Right. Wait, so Will Levis is, and then you got Anthony Richardson. Can I ask you which one of those guys? What kind of fit do you see those guys being at the next level? And do you think both of those guys are going to have success?
Anthony Richardson played well in the Utah game, played pretty well in the Tennessee game, and then in between lost his confidence, got beat fair and square by Vanderbilt. I would be if somebody's GM writes that kid a check for first-round money, he ought to be fired.
Mm-hmm.
That is ridiculous. I don't know where he fits, frankly. Now Levis has the pro measurables and all those things, probably will check out very well.
Mm-hmm.
Got a solid, good arm, but he's inconsistent. This was an inconsistent year for him. I don't think he's a first-round talent either. That doesn't mean he won't be taken somewhere in the first round. But as far as what some of these scouts are saying, I don't see it on either one of them. If you said which one would you take, I would take Levis.
I want to ask you about college coaches, and the name of the most recent college coordinator that's taken a job in the NFL escapes me. But there's been a stream of them. I don't know the number, but there's been a stream of college coordinators and assistant coaches that have taken jobs in the NFL. Do you think that this is partially, if not mostly, about trying to navigate some better work-life balance? And it's not to say that NFL coaches don't bust their ass, and they do, but they don't have to recruit. It's not a 12-month-of-the-year thing, and you get time off that college coaches don't. Is there something that has to be done to maybe help college football retain some of their coaches?
Nothing's going to happen there. That's it will get worse way sooner than it gets better. I don't know if it's a trend, but I understand. If you could go be a coordinator in the NFL, make seven figures, not have to worry about name, image, likeness, you're not recruiting, you're probably not involved in personnel, right? I mean, as far as decisions, draft decisions, scouting, it's a much better life. And so I can see making that decision. Now, if you get a call to come back and be a college head coach, and that's a different story, right? That's a different opportunity, and you're going to get paid for all those headaches. But I don't know if we know that's a trend yet. And let's also admit, how many college coaches are good enough to be offered a coordinator job? I mean, that's a small list now in the NFL.
That's a legitimate answer. No, I think you're definitely right about that. But you look at like all the legendary college basketball coaches that, with NIL and the transfer portal, decided, all right, I'm done for now. In football, it's like, you're constantly recruiting your own team and recruiting high schoolers and looking in the portal. It's just that these are already big jobs.
Does it feel kind of like you're babysitting, kind of coddling to these kids a little bit when you're in college coaching still?
Well, but now you legitimately have conversation about where's my money. I mean, and it used to at least be kind of secretive, right? We all knew folks were doing it, but it was secretive. Now it's legal. Nobody's policing it, and players are making decisions. Saban said something like they've lost 8 to 10 players just based on the money. And if that's happening, players are making decisions based on the money. Now, all of them aren't, and all of them don't have that kind of clout, right? But the upper echelon ones can do this, and I'd still think the money's a big lie. I don't think it's as much as people are throwing out there, but that's not going away. There's nothing at all trending that would suggest that nightmare. And frankly, considering what we do here, guys, those are juicy topics. I'll at least take advantage of it.
Well, they definitely are juicy topics. So are the show cause penalties to Jeremy Pruitt's former assistant. I thought, maybe, I don't know if he was interviewed, but I thought there was, a theory that Pruitt may have become the Alabama defensive coordinator again, but that wasn't the direction that Nick Saban went. Do you think that this that investigation hadn't come out with penalties for the assistants and that it was going to come back up again? Do you think that was a reason why Pruitt didn't end up at Alabama, or do you just think they like Golding more?
I think eventually he'll end up there. We don't know when. But, yeah, I think that was a big sticking point. They don't know what's going to happen with this. And there's another theory that maybe some of these guys are going to get time served because they haven't been able to get hired. I don't know. It depends on the number of years we get here. And then there's a Jeremy Pruitt lawsuit with Tennessee, which says, give me my money. And I think they're a long way off there. So no telling.
Well, and here it was. We thought like all of these the shenanigans at Tennessee were finished, and then the athletic department at Tennessee decides to suspend Tony Vitello for last weekend, and now he's back, and everything seems to be okay because the player. They didn't come out and address the player that this was all about, but it was all about Maui Ahuna, the Kansas shortstop that was the top prospect, the top transfer of the entire offseason, and he goes over to Tennessee. He wasn't available to play. He hadn't been cleared by the NCAA until Tony took the suspension. Like these things are definitely tied together. They certainly appear to be.
100%. This was a plea bargain. Now, technically, Tennessee suspended him, but this was in conjunction to your conversation with the NCAA. And basically, let me give you a kindergarten level. Hey, set him out 3 games. We'll free him up on Monday. That was the deal.
It's a slap on the wrist. I mean, it's not a – right. I mean – So Tony Vitello is a hot topic for anybody that's connected to Arkansas baseball. There's still some people that think he'll be the Arkansas head coach when Dave Van Horn retires. I'm here to tell you I'll grow a third leg before that happens because Dave's going to stick around for a while. But Tony's got this history, too, of suspensions. There was the issue last year bumping the umpire. I think he was suspended a time before that. Now this. I don't know any other college baseball coach or any coach in college that has been suspended more often than Tony Vitello.
Well, Frank Anderson, their pitching coach, who is everybody thinks is A-list pitching coach, he was missing the first game out west when the season started a week or two ago because of the Notre Dame series where he got ejected. And then
that's right.
Transfer Griffin Merritt from Cincinnati, that league's player of the year, had to sit out 2 games too because of something he said after Cincinnati's last game about the officiating. So it's been wild, guys.
I can't wait for Arkansas and Tennessee this year. They do play a baseball series this year in Fayetteville, Bill. It's going to be must watch, must listen. I can't wait for that thing to go down. Can't wait.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts.